Hi guys, it's West Coast Arachnids. Just going to do a rehousing video. As you can see, I've got a ton of new enclosures for my tees. Anyway, so what you need for this is, of course, you need your enclosures. And then you need some substrate to put in the enclosures. And then you're going to need your tees to put in your enclosures. So, now that we have the three main components, we can go ahead and fill these things up with your substrate. Okay, now that we have the substrate in there, we're going to take the spiders out and we're going to transfer them into their new homes. You notice that I've got 3 different lines, 3 different color lids, and actually substrate's piled higher on this side and on this side opposites. The lids only fit on one way. They're rounded kind of on the edge and flat along the one side, so they kind of rock. On the other side they're just flat. So these two are done up exactly as my Lazador pair Hibana are. So with those, we're going to put the Lazador difficilis in them. And these other ones, I'm going to put the vagans, Brachypelma vagans, in there. And the Taikinsarias in the others 3. So I'll just go ahead and get started. I'm going to probably angle this camera. So see you in a second. Okay. Give the camera a little angle straight down so that you can see it with a little bit of light on it, or else you wouldn't see anything. So we'll start with Lazador difficilis number 1. Now I haven't looked in here for a while. These guys haven't been fed or anything for about a week and a half, because they were actually looking like they were going to molt, but this guy has not molted. So we'll get him out. Let's see if he'll go right into his cage. There's his enclosure. I am going to put their hides back in after they get washed. If any of you have been watching, I did get mites in their feeders. So I've tossed out their feeders. It's one of the reasons they haven't been fed in a while. Oh, and this one, this is the second reason they haven't been fed in a while. These, their instruments that I use are all in here. This is an alcohol water solution. So they're all clean. I don't know if you can see in there. It's kind of on an odd angle. Right in beside the lid there. It's very hard to see on the camera. Is a molt. And this is the second reason I haven't been feeding them, because I was pretty sure were going to molt. And I was right, and holy cow have they gotten bigger. Wow. Let's just get this guy out of the way. Let's see him on the side versus that guy. I mean, this guy's a lot smaller, as you'll see soon. Through the magic of cameras, I was able to avoid a lot of the boring stuff. So I'm going to get you to go in there, little fella. I know you probably just molted. Get you out. Get him some food. Or not food, but some water. Moisten these tanks up. Pour them a little bit. So let's see. Just taking a good look at these guys. Make sure that there's no mites on them. I don't see any. This guy in the dirt down kind of like the other one is. This guy's a lot quicker. Need to put that molt with the rightful owner's dish for a second. So there's Diphilus 1 and 3. And 2 had perished if you watched the beginning of the... Am I actually getting these guys? Oh, something's wrong there. I'm missing a leg. This guy's actually missing a leg. Looks like his front right leg is missing. He lost it in a molt. Wow. Was not expecting that. Otherwise, he looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to keep him monitored. And he looks pretty good. So, but I don't know if you can see the size difference. I'm gonna brighten up the camera a little bit for you guys. If I turn it sideways, you can see. There is quite a bit of a difference. If he wasn't missing his other front leg, that's kind of bad. I wasn't expecting that. Poor fella. Okay, I'm gonna get the other ones ready. I gotta put the lids on those. Okay, I brighten up the camera. I hope you can see it a little better. I got the light actually straight up. Probably you can see the lid here. Really hard to get good lighting. But anyway, we'll move on to Brachypelma 1. This guy has his enclosure completely torn apart. I kind of dug him out. And that's him there, down in the bottom. Let's see. Best way to do this. This guy is not molted. And he doesn't want to move, of course. Come on, little guy. I'll put you in a nice big home. And for a while I'll give the Brachypelmas some kind of a hide once I get them sterilized. He doesn't want to come out. He just is like a little bulldog. He doesn't want to move. See if I can get him to move outside the light, maybe. Okay, as soon as I go in the light, he stops moving. That's the problem. He wants to just go and hide. Sorry, guy. You're a star right now. You're on camera. Look at them. They're pretty bulky even at a young age. They're very young. He's got his colors. He's starting to get his red rump hairs. Let him go and explore. That's Brachypelma vagans number 1. His new enclosure. I'm sure they'll get acclimated with their cages quite quickly. Get him out of the road. And snap a lid on there real quick so he doesn't decide to go for a wander. And once I got them all done up, I'll show you the finished product. This is Brachypelma vagans number 2. He's still in his hide. So I'm going to have to fish him out with one of my little digging tools. Well, leftover, he's got a leftover bolus in there. Just checking for mites real quick. And I don't see any. It's good. And all of these old enclosures and all the substrate with it is going to be I'm probably going to take the old substrate and just recycle it, put it out in the garden or something, and the containers will be sterilized and reused later. I'm just removing all of his little, I don't want to get anything in there, his new enclosure, but his plants and whatnot, they're all coming out. And I made the mistake of not having anywhere to put them, so they're just going to go over here for a minute. Now, this guy, I'm going to have to find him. He's got tunnels everywhere, I know. Best way to find him is to look underneath, and there he is, of course. He's right here. So we're just going to lift this up, like so. And there he is. This is Brachypelma vagans number 2. This one here is the one who had the kind of a scar when he molted last. Let's see if we can nudge him out of there. I don't want any of this to fall on him. And I'm checking them as they come out, and I'm looking around the places where mites will hang out on a tarantula. That's around the abdomen, around the eyes, joints of the legs, around the soft part of the carapace around the outer edge. And I don't see any. And in the chelicera, in throughout the fangs. And he's pretty clean. So I'm pretty sure Most of these teas are good. No mites on them. I haven't found any yet. I thought I might have seen some of the S-calciatum, one of my S-calciatum enclosures, so I'm going to really have to check them out. I was really dreading trying to take them out of there, but I'm going to have to clean out their enclosures. Come on, buddy. Right over the edge there, there's a nice little new enclosure for you. Arachnid substrate. And what I use for substrate is just the brick form Eco Earth. I think it's Exoterra that I get mine from. It's like $5 a brick, and it completely filled that whole other container. So I mean, I've got all these enclosures filled and at least that much dirt left over for them. So there's plenty in one brick for slings, that's for sure. It would probably fill a 10-gallon aquarium, enough for almost any tarantula really, even burrowers. Okay. Make sure I'm getting the right ones in the right places. I want to mix them up. Come on, little fella, you gonna go down? Like be in the limelight for a bit. Oh, and down he goes. It's like, thanks a lot. Way to move the enclosure on me. No, he's good. I wish I knew why the other one had a bad molt. Lost his leg. That was one of the Lazidor difficilis. And this one, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about this one's scar, and they think it's just when he molted on top of his exoskeleton and it kind of stuck to him. But I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens in the next molt. As long as it comes out of that one okay, then I guess that's what it was. Sometimes it's just a mystery. You don't know what happened or why. I may never know why that one lost its leg in the molt. Is it lack of moisture? Did he have mites? Was he in the wrong position? Did he just not get fed enough? I mean, I fed them pretty regularly. Maybe I fed them too much. Who knows? Lack of certain things in their diet. I remember in the wild, these things will eat anything. Anything that they can tackle, they will eat. It doesn't matter what it is. A lizard, a bird, a moth, cricket, locust, another spider. Doesn't matter what it is. If they can take it down, they will. So they have quite the varied diet. Once again, I'm going to have a hard time finding this guy. This is Brachypelma vagans number 3. And he is right here. So I'm going to dig him out. Just basically all I do is just kind of get that out of the way for you. Move the substrate enough to get down inside the hole where he's sitting. There's the hole broken through. Once I find the hole, note where the tarantula is. He's right there. He's kind of moving around. I'm not sure if you can see him there. I really can't see what you guys are seeing. All I know is that this is in the light and in the camera. And the camera's kind of on an angle for me, so I can't see it. Hoping you guys see. And he's gone and crawled down the hole a little further. So, and what you do is if he does that, you bury the spot that you've just unburied away from the way he crawled, so that you can still get to the hole and dig him out. Sorry if this is coming off camera, I really gotta focus on not hurting them. There he is. Poked him out of his hole. And just kind of tamp everything down so he can't go back. And once again, he looks pretty clean. I haven't seen a mite in here yet. I will be looking through this very closely. If I see anything resembling a mite or anything that moves, it'll come out and get put underneath the magnifying glass to see what it is. But as of yet, I don't see anything even remotely close to a mite, which was awesome. Let's get this tarantula out and into his new enclosure. And what I'm going to do here, put this into the light more. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to get the tarantula to go into the side what is higher. This is one of the reasons that when I first make an enclosure, I'll build one side high and one side low with the substrate. So that when he goes in, he or she, and they do fall like the last one, they don't have very far to go. And these Brachypelmas are terrestrial, so I don't want you over there, little buddy. No, you go in. He's trying to get out. You can see there, he wants to climb out the edge. Smart little guy. They're very healthy looking, which is good. Now these are, when they're young, they're pretty much, see, they just kind of tumble off the wall, so you really need to give them a lot of height, or actually just put them in your hand and put them in there if you can, because they're gonna fall. They're not gonna be able to cling onto the glass or anything like that. They can, but if they're not ready for it, they just kind of slip off. Their claws are retractable like a cat's. They have 2 claws on each foot or on each leg, and they use those to hang on with. So the Brachypelmas are awesome little species. And you can see this guy's very small yet. He's just molted into his juvenile stage. They've got their Brachypelma colors. It's the Brachypelma vagans, the Mexican red rump. Eventually he's going to be all black, and just his rump will be full of longer red hairs with really short black hairs underneath. And then the rest of them will just be a velvety black, especially after they molt. Nowadays you can see this guy's carapace is kind of light colored, but that will go away in time. Anyway, off he goes back into his new enclosure. We'll put his lid on. And what I like about these is, sorry about that, you can see the light, they lock down. And you just lift the lid, throw their food in, and lock it back up. And then video it through the side. So they're very handy little enclosures. Okay, we're at 16 minutes, so we're going to try and hustle this along. Next up we have Taikinsarias, the Haitian brown bird eater. And I'm pretty sure these guys were in pre-molt. At least been in pre-molt for a week. So we will see. Let's just pop them open and see what we got. Taikinsaria's number 1. Now their enclosures are looking a little scungy, dried out. You see actually calcified water on the outside of the enclosure on top of his hide. Oh yeah, and he's molted. He's beautiful looking. So what I'll do is I'm just going to tip this upside down, leave it in here so that you can get a look at them. And what I'll do is I'm going to take the other, put this in the alcohol solution and wash the other one off. I don't want to be transferring anything, mites or anything else. Maybe in the spiders. There's his molt just popped out. And there he is. He's still got the juvenile colors. They kind of have a steely black-blue color to them. This one's really pronounced blue on it. It just looks beautiful. I wish they would stay this way. What do I need here? Something to... I need to get this... Make sure there's no alcohol on it. Was molt. And there's his molt. Very small compared to him. He's doubled in size easily. Very neat looking. He's so cool. Now this one has been held by 2 people that have arachnophobia. One of the most defensive in the world. Or no. Terrestrials, we'll say. Very cool looking. I'm try and get him to come on my hand here. Get a good close look at him. They're very defensive tea. Oh, he's actually kicking some hair. I can actually feel them right now, which is quite cool. Before, they're so light you can't feel them. They're on you. I mean, that's the difference there in size. He's a lot bigger. Before he was, when I first got him, he was half the size of my thumbnail. Now he's easily double the size. He's probably a good 1.5 inches. Leg tip to leg tip. And the proper way to measure it is one of the front legs to one of the back legs opposite side. So if you were measuring from the left, you measure the farthest part of the front leg to the tip of the back right leg, so front left to back right, or the opposite way, and stretched out. A lot of people will measure them in a rested position, and that's fine, but for all intents scientific purposes they're measured at total length. Oh, he jumped. He actually jumped. That was awesome looking. I don't know if that got caught on camera. There he is. Wow, he's a quick little guy. So neat looking. See if we can get him to come out in the light before I put him away. Here he is. Doesn't like to be touched. His fangs are still a little red, so he won't be eating for a week or so, but they will get some moisture. Sorry about that. You have to go in here. It's really leggy. I'm hoping it's a female, but you can't always get what you want, right? Make sure it's all locked down. The lid on his old container. Get on to number 2. Oh, he's a lot bigger. That's awesome. I love these teas. Taikinsaria, he's number 2. Give this give this a little dip in there. I'll get the other one out. Make sure they're clean. Now, this one's kind of in his hide. I don't think he's molted at all, which he has not. But I still believe he's in pre-molt. If you can see that, he's very blue in the abdomen. I mean, naturally they have the blue, but you can see underneath, and it's kind of, see the opaqueness underneath, and it's got that bruised look to it. And it's extended. He's got an extended abdomen. Just 2 signs that they're in the pre-molt. Other is they might stop eating, or they may continue to eat. But these guys, until I get rid of the mites, these guys are on a fast, and if they're in pre-molt, it really doesn't matter. So they'll be good. I'm going to quickly check this over and make sure I don't see any mites. This one's pretty dry in here, so I'm highly doubtful there'll be any mites at all. And I don't see any. With the bright lights, the mites will dig under, so you kind of gotta dig through and see what you can see. You stop digging for a second and you put it in a bright light, and then they'll move. They'll get out of the light. The mites don't like the light, and if they can avoid it, they will. So you'll see them crawl instantly. Little fella. Sorry, I'm kind of getting over this flu here. I haven't been doing a lot of videos. I've been kind of sick, so. He's got his fangs open. That's a sign of threat, but I mean, with him being this size, I'm not too worried. Now you can see this guy. You see how large his abdomen is, and it kind of jiggles when you move it around. That's a sign of 2 things. They're gravid. Well, 3 things. They're gravid, they're in pre-molt, or they're obese. You're feeding your spiders too much. Stop. Just like anything else, they can get obese, and it can kill them. Especially in tarantulas, because if they fall when they're obese like that, they will definitely burst open their abdomens. And with this being in pre-molt like this, I'm going to kind of angle this cage down a bit so he can just kind of waltz in there. And not, which these guys, it's not too much of a worry, they really can climb. But the Brachypelma, they're terrestrial, and they like to dig, and they don't really climb. So putting them on glass is not a good idea. You may kill them if they fall, especially a larger tarantula. Being this small, you know, like a child, they've got a little more elasticity, they're lighter, gravity's not going to pull them down and smash them as hard onto the ground as, say, a full-grown spider. Same with adults and children and humans. You see, he's got no problem climbing that at all. Just up he goes. Put that into the alcohol. And get the lid on there. And up he goes, just like a rocket. He's right at the top now. So I'll put him over there. This is an enclosure, his old one. Now, as you'll see when I'm done here, these are separated with their enclosures a few inches away. Just for the fact that if they do have mites, I don't want them to spread any farther than the tarantula. The ones that have just molted, I'm pretty confident that they will have molted out of their any mites that are on their body. Unfortunately, I don't know when they molted, and I really have to keep an eye on that Lasiodora difficilis. I don't want to lose them. That'd be the second one I lost of the difficilis. I bought 3 to begin with, and 1 died under my hand, literally. The video is on here on my channel. If you go in the difficilis playlist, you'll see it. And this guy looks like he's molted. Yes, he has. This is Taikinsaria number 3. Awesome. And he looks in good health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please tell me you got all your legs. I think he does. I just think I'm missing his bit of belt. There's his molt. Looks like a good molt. And I do not see any mites on the molt. I'm going to look at that under the magnifying glass or the microscope. And I don't see any mites inside of his hide nor on this tee, so out you come, little guy. We are going to put you in your new home. How's that sound? Get that idea? No? You got all 8 legs. That's a good deal. You know, your buddy over there, he's only got 7. What do you think of that? You know, you could have molted it without one. Next time you'll eat your spinach. Okay, get him up in there. Sorry about the brightness on there. I had to turn the brightness right up on the camera to see anything, so anything white now is just going to be glare. Okay, he's hanging on to this. You want to let it go? Come on, buddy. Let it go. Let it go. Come on. You gonna let it go? Doesn't want to let go of it. I think he's hooked on it. There we go. Thank you. Beautiful. I love these Taikinsarias. You know, people have so much bad to say about them, but I don't think so. No. They put up their threat postures because they're basically afraid of you. They don't want They don't want you near them. And if you're afraid of them, they don't want you near them as much as you don't want to be near them. So best to just heed their warning and bugger off. Get away from them. As for anything else, I think they're a pretty neat species. Constantly out. When they're hungry, they come out and they roam around looking for food. They're an active spider. You know, they're not a hole in the ground, a pet hole in the ground, like a lot of species are. But as you can see, they are quite skittish. They don't like anything near them. See, he's got his butt up in the air. They will flick hairs now and again, or they will do a threat posture. And if you don't heed to their warnings and stick your finger in there, you may get it bit. So it always pays to know your spiders. You need to get to know them on a personal level with each one. They're not always going to be the same. Just because it's a Taikinsaria doesn't mean it's going to jump out and bite you. Just because it's a Brachypelma species doesn't mean it's going to be docile. They could bite you just as well, or be just as defensive. You see a lot of pet stores with roseas and Chilean rose hairs, and they say they're docile species, they're real easy to handle, no problem. Yet 7 out of 10 times I'll hear people say that their Chilean rose hair is nasty. It just wants to rear up and bite you the second you go in near their enclosure. Other times I had one, which is on my banner up top, up in the left. That's my Chilean rose hair. That was Wisteria. You can see some videos of her in the channel. Completely docile. Never had a problem with her. Could pick her up all the time. So, anyway, we're at over 30 minutes. So, let me give you a good look here. These are all the spiders we've put into enclosures. And you can see I've kept their old enclosures away from them a little bit. They got a good amount of substrate in each one. So they can dig around if they need. Just going to shut this extra light off. There we go. And I'll take their hides out, and they're going to get a soak in alcohol overnight, and then they're going to get washed in some hot water and let sit for a day or two, and then they'll get put in there. In the meantime, I have some of these little plastic plants and stuff I'm going to put in there for them, and I might even have some other hides I can stick in there for now and just wash these ones out, or I might just go down and buy some new ones. Who knows? Anyways, it's really late here, so I'm going to get these guys put away, and I'm going to hit the sack. So this is West Coast Arachnids. That was a nice massive transfer of a lot of teas. Hope you liked it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. We're getting close to the 100 mark. I think we're less than 15 away. I'm trying to hit that within 3 days from now. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like and throw some comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer them. Alright, bye for now.